All right, all right.
You get
Desktop.
going.
There we go. Good. So this is going to be very brief, and perhaps some of you guys have already glanced at it. I sent it yesterday. So it's basically just a very short introduction to, well, since we're basically going past, I don't want to say the beginning stages, but like we have basically completed the first part of false Christomathy. So we're moving past the Dedicatory texts. We're gonna be stepping into uncharted territory from now on and doing something fairly different from what we're used to. So the Dedicatory texts usually follow a very rigid textual structure, a very like rigid pattern. They start with the beneficiary in the dative, then you kind of have the ergative subject and then the object, which culminates with, of course, the transitive verb, which is often monadou. Why monadou? Because the dedicatory texts kind of make you employ niche kind of terminology, so technical jargon, I called it like that. Monadou, he built it for him or her, or Dingirani, name his or her protector god is yada yada. So that is what we're used to, but from now on, we're not gonna be dealing with that anymore. So we're gonna, I mean, the text we're gonna be looking at, they follow a different textual pattern and very distinct and diverse juridical jargon, which has nothing to do with what we've been working with for the time being. Such terms include shuti, which is to accept a payment, kind of like to make a transaction, so to say. And well, the verb tuku, which well means to have, is often employed to mean to be owned by someone, to demand by someone, usually to demand from someone who is in the wrong. So the taxpayer, the and not only that, but grammatical cases kind of got very interesting, as in we tend to see secondary usages, let's call it like that, secondary uses of grammatical cases kind of come to light and being used, such as the ablative. And we're going to see that in a second. And they're often left unexpressed. So sometimes you have cases, but either for the sake of space, being like very limited, or for other reasons, being left out. Sometimes you have like, in dedicatory text, you have the first dative ra ending, which is not expressed because you have it in the verb. And usually when you have it in the verb inside of the verbal chain, you tend to not have it in loco after the noun. Same thing happens here, but with other cases such as the ablative. And yes, some peculiarities which are pretty common sight among texts and tablets of this kind are the partitive ablative. So the ablative ta is used to mean each and not from. The proemptive or headless genitive, this is not as uncommon as the other ones, is very, I mean, it's a way of, a mean of forming the genitive, which goes beyond just adding the genitive. You have both terms, so first term ak, so first term goes in the genitive, and then the second ends in b, or whatever possessive pronoun is employed, and that is to mean x, y. So of x, it's y. Of the first term, it's second term. We'll see that going on. And
Question.
another thing is,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh no problem. I was going to say, for reasons I'm not going to explain right now, because it's really complicated. You sometimes have the to be copula used in its second person singular instead of the third person singular for some reason, which I'm not going to explain right now, but I will in another lesson. And then you have a lot of numbers and measurement words, and sometimes they get really complicated. Tell me.
Makes a lot of sense, especially when looking at the text that we got as homework. Question on the proleptive genitive. So of X, it's Y. Basically, then if it were the silver of the king, would it be Lugalak Ku Babarbi or something like that? Is that how I have to imagine it?
Kubabarani, yes, because being animate, it requires the animate possessive pronoun. But yes,
So how would you say it in my example? Lugalak and then
Lugalak Kubabarani.
Kubabada.
Ani. Ani.
Oh, cool. That makes sense. Kubabarani. Okay, cool. Very cool. Got it.
Good.
That's-
All right, all right. So with that being said, we can now jump onto the tablet. Let's go. I hope you liked the presentation.
Nice.
Hopefully it was useful. So now, as we always do, we partition the screen in two, and then we do this and this. Do you guys feel like starting?
I can try the first one, and then maybe we alternate.
Very good.
So I don't remember. The first one is the number 5, but I
Good.
don't remember how to say it. We
It's
have
Ash or Yash, but yes,
okay.
let's do Ash for now.
Okay. The next one can be two things. It could be Ging 4, or it could be Aga, I think. Aga 3. But in context, knowing that this is going to be somewhat accounting related, Ging Shekel makes more sense.
Good.
Like
Yes,
that.
exactly. So game 4, right?
I
Or Ging, right?
I've seen Gin and I've seen Ging. Volk has Ging.
All right, then we're going to use that. No problem. Anyway, I think it's just sorry. For 5. Good. So then we have Ku 3, and of
Yeah.
course Babbar.
With silver, basically.
Yes.
Shiny Ku.
Very good. Chuck, do you feel like doing line number 2?
Yeah. That is or.
Good.
Looks like Dinger
Good.
ish 5
Good.
ish.
Very well. Is it Cash 1?
All I pulled was Pesh. I didn't know.
Oh, sorry, Tesh, right.
Pesh?
Is it Pesh with a Piers and Paul? That's what Volk
Yeah,
says?
Pesh.
Oh,
Like
Pesh.
yeah,
Gotcha,
Pesh.
gotcha. Oh, yeah, got it. Right.
All right. The next one.
That was S5.
Pesh 5?
Yes. No. After or it was S5.
Yep, yeah, the D was the Dinger thing.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't see that.
No problem. Okay. Should have made it.
Yeah. Okay.
Small.
Next line, getting lucky here, was the easiest in the whole text. That was Shu Ba Ti. And you had given us the hint that Shu Ti is to receive. So that makes perfect sense.
All right. Good.
Side note, that Shu has an awful lot of strokes.
Yeah,
some of them I got a little confused because when I looked at his the handwritten a facsimile and I guess the electronic version it was slightly different, or if there's a gap or something. I got just slightly confused and I was trying to figure out which was which.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a she, I guess. Frankly,
They say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 7 no, 7 lines.
they wanted to make it really clear. All
Yes,
right.
so the shoe, because on the electronic I see the shoe had 4
Yeah.
4 strokes. Yeah.
Yeah, he went all out on that one. I mean, considering that is a hand, right? I'm not sure where you get where you get 7 from, but or 8 if I count
Oh no, in the it was 8.
if you count the one at the bottom, the big one, like the
Didn't
thumb.
even know. Yeah. I didn't count that one.
Yeah, Volk quite likes to do some trolling sporadically. So, all right, all right. Off to line number. Oh, sorry, line number 4.
What I
You
got
guys.
was
Mhm.
was someone else.
Well, it's only us. Rasmus cannot, unfortunately,
Rasmus is
partake.
driving,
Okay.
so he can only listen in, but not look at the
Mhm.
text, I think.
Anyone chime in?
Okay. I had ah
Yes.
aba
Right.
aba
Mhm.
babar. Uh, I wasn't sure it was a dim 2 or Gen 7.
All right. So,
I go
okay.
dim 2.
The only thing that could have helped you here is the glossary at the end of Volk's Christomathy, because it does have a list of quite an extensive list of personal names.
Mm-hmm.
One of which happens to be Aba-Utugim, with the an in the middle being a classifier for gods.
So that's so it should be Dinger.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Oops. Okay, I made a mistake there. I just put on.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem. No problem.
Okay.
So Aba,
So I say dim 2 and A.
right at the end. So we've got the air here. So it must mean something. All right. So basically, the name translates to someone like Utu.
Mm.
Aba means who, or well, someone. And Utugin, of course, means like Utu. Gin being the acquisitive case.
That's where I messed it up because I put Babar and it didn't dawn to me to put Utu. Right. Okay. Hey, I'm learning.
Yeah, no problem.
Quick question. You said Abba meant what? Like Utugen, I get. It's like Utu. And
Mhm.
Abba?
Abba means who in questions,
Okay.
and it can mean whoever or someone in the right context.
So is it like a Michael kind of name, like Michael?
Yeah, the
Good, huh?
closest it gets basically in Sumerian, probably.
Ha. All right, kind of cool.
Yep.
Next line. The first one could be a lot of things, but in context, it's an.
Good.
And middle sign can only be da, at least according to the sign list at the end. And tuku took me a while because it has that horizontal stroke that normally looks different, but it's in the glossary. So I mean, it's in the sign list. So anda tuku.
Right. Good. What about line number 6?
Yeah. This is where it got a little because I didn't want to go through the list as far as in the book. I didn't feel like, for me, I'm sorry, for me, I didn't feel like, oh man, I'm cheating and I didn't even want to look in it. So I think I made a mistake on this one, but I had put dish, like in a pause in a sentence.
All right.
But I'm pretty sure that that wasn't what that was. But next is Dune 3 or
You
Gunu.
you mean this?
Yeah.
All right. If you look closely, in line number 1, you have the very same sign, uh, which is also preceded by a number.
Oh, okay.
So instead of 5 wedges, which of course stand for 5, you only have 1 wedge, which does
Hmm.
stand for 1, which is, as you said, dish or ash, depending on the time period and the context. And then you have this one, cuneiform character, which might as well just mean gig, or sorry,
Hmm.
gim.
I didn't notice. You know why? I'm sorry. I was looking at the strokes on. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I see it now. I see it.
Oh, no problem. It's also the first tablet of its kind that we're well dealing with. So knock yourself out.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. So that next one, of course, is okay. So that's or.
Yes.
It looks like the dinger, but I'm looking at the way that it's worded here. So I would say it was I'd say Ag or Dinger Keske.
Hmm. So you use it as a classifier, right? Basically.
I'm not certain
Well,
because I see key at the end of Kesh,
mhm.
unless you're saying that this is a king or ruler of
Right, right.
Keske.
So this might be a Diri sign.
Hmm.
Let us try and find it. Maybe cache 2? No. Cache 3? Does this look like it?
So that's a compound sign, huh?
Yep. According to, well, APSD. I would have to look at Volk again. Actually, let me do that right now. Let's just look for cache. 229.
229.
Yep. So according to Volk, cache is supposed to look something like this. Oh my god.
It's going to be quite challenging.
Yep, we can see it. So it's like a ding here, something in the middle, and the key.
So it kind of encompasses all three.
Huh. What's the thing in the middle?
I think it's a whore. Not sure. Is it? Oh, probably. So let's just have it as Urkash 3, I think. According to, well, Volk. We're gonna make adjustments later. I just want to get the text on.
Next one's easy. We had it. Shubati.
All right. This is gonna be my line then.
Okay. Want me to take the next one? It's easy too.
Oh, well.
Because we had it as well. Andatuku.
And the Tuku. Right. Now.
Comes the hard one.
Oh, wow.
Gabriele, that one is yours.
Oh, okay, okay. So the first one, we know he went hard with the strokes, and it's a very strokey shoe.
Apparently, polydactyly was a thing in ancient Sumer.
Well, he took the liberty of writing more, I guess. So, and then the second one, you might recognize it. It kind of looks like the blueprint of a city, and we know that city is either pronounced Uru or Iri, depending on dialect and region. And so that would be the first meaning of this cuneiform character when it's used as a word, so self-standing word. But when used phonetically, it loses its initial vowel, and it's usually left to represent the sound ri. Let me see if I can give you a representation of it. Probably can. Wait, am I searching for a sign or for a final? Let me read 2. Yep, there we go. You guys see it?
Yep, that looks quite similar.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have a full line here, but again, some do, some don't. And yeah, so it means city by itself, and when used phonetically, it means, I mean, it is to be pronounced ri, when it stands for ri two.
Ri.
So ri two.
'Cause I thought it was Uru.
Yeah, when it's used alone, it's either pronounced iri or uru. It means city,
Mm.
but
Mm.
syllabically it's ri two, and it's also used, I think, in Hittite and in Akkadian to mean again ri two. And then what do we have? What do we have? So the following is quite involved.
Yeah. I got lost in one of them.
Mm,
All right, all
me
right.
too. Same thing.
This one, should I just say it?
Yep.
I'm just gonna show you all of them so you know what I'm talking about. This is a come, although here it looks kind of different.
Oh, yeah, Cam.
The
Yeah.
line inside can go both ways, horizontally or vertically. So shuri come.
Mm.
And then this one is easier
Yeah.
than you think. So this,
That's
yes,
Shay.
right.
Shame. Oh, okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
Good old Barley, just Barley. This one is also very,
That's a P, right?
yep, it is. Then this one is a monster of a kind. And the thing is, it's one of those characters that if you look them up on the APSD, they usually look nothing like what you have in Volk.
And I just put an X. I didn't even have a clue.
I think it's at the end of the glossary.
It is number 254. He says it's a two
Mhm.
pariga, some kind of measurement.
Right.
And
And what is that then? Well, we can talk about that in a moment.
It's a fraction, basically.
Okay.
mm,
Parika. And what about this one? It's a grammatical case.
huh?
Ta, yes. Very good. Now this.
First one's easy. First
See
one.
down.
Oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You had it.
Good, good.
See down.
Sidam, very well.
Sit down. Yeah.
Sorry.
Um,
Mm.
the next one,
My favorite word.
is Lugal Tush. I'm
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding. It's Lugal and something that I don't know what to make out of.
Well, you're not wrong.
Or
It is.
two.
I think, well, there's a few. That Cuneiform character has quite a few readings, but the thing is, we cannot know for certain which one is the right one unless we look at the name list inside of Volk's Christomathy. So we have to refer back to the glossary. It could be Lugaldur, it could be Lugaltush, and quite a few other things.
Which means it's a headless genitive, so it's Lugalak, Lugalak Tushani, right?
Ouch! That the king's his ass. Yeah.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
Hey, it's fine. So Chuck, if you look at the spine tush, this is meant. I mean, this is everything related to the buttocks. Kind of looks.
You know what? I went through it last night, and my girl was laughing because we did a check on the meaning, and it said breaking wind, fart.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
how did that? I said that can't be in the sentence.
I'll tell you more. In Akkadian, it's also spelled shit.
Mm.
So and shitum in Akkadian means crap. So sorry.
Interesting.
So Akkadians were aliens, or English, no different.
So what else could it be then? If we don't think it's the king's butt.
Oh, a name, proper name. I'm just looking at the personal names list.
That would be quite a name.
Yes, Lugal Ku. So the thing is, not even Volk knows how it's to be pronounced, so we just keep it at Lugal Ku.
Got it.
Ku is kind of the primary reading, so when you don't know what it stands for, you just put it at like that in caps. The primary reading. So let's just keep it as Lugal Ku, but fantasize about it as much as you want in terms of meaning. Second one, again, quite well. This one is tricky, and it doesn't have to do with the Ku and buttocks.
My check was Gala.
Good. This is Gala.
Okay.
Let's.
And it's really an ush, right, in the beginning?
Yes. So Gala. Ush. Ku. Good. Well, the following line is.
Yeah.
What can I even say?
Can I ask,
Go ahead.
is it Kush 7?
One of them, yes.
One of them.
Basically, I'll tell you in advance. Gala means it's a kind of sorcerer, kind of singer, an enchanter. So this is a profession. Lugal Ku is a name. In Sumerian, when you're talking about someone, when you're addressing someone, the profession follows, or usually follows the name. So we could read it already as Lugal Ku, the Gala sorcerer. And then in this line, I think we have both the name and the profession in the same line. Why? Because this sign, which can be Kush as well. Oh, hi there, Rasmus. Welcome.
Rasmus.
Again,
Hey, you made it.
I did.
Can mean groom, as in the person who grooms horses or whatnot. While this, I don't know how it's transliterated in the PDF version of the Christomathy, but I think it's quite misleading because Volk has it as, let me have a look, Ish, I think.
Yes.
And then if we look at the name list, the personal name list, I don't think it's Ish. I think it's written as something else.
Hmm.
Or maybe it does have Ish.
Oh, no, it is. It is. Page 110. Ish 3013.
Oh, good. Well, actually, since I'm not crazy, I know I'm not. I'm sure it's different in the PDF version.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I quite think so. Yeah.
It's the second edition, and the paper version is.
The paper version is an entirely different title, actually, which has confused me for a long time.
Oh,
Because this paper version is as a Sumerian Christomathy, but
Okay.
the one we have as a PDF is called a Sumerian Reader.
all
Right.
right.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. So
It's really weird.
this one, for example, has Dur 2 instead of Kush. Sorry, Ku. And I think it has Kush instead of Ish in the personal names list.
Okay. That's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so Ish happens to be a personal name, apparently. Followed by, well, the profession of groom, which is Kush. Now, I don't remember which Kush. I don't think it's Kush 1, or maybe it is. Yeah, probably Kush 2. Never mind. Is it 3? Not even 3.
7 actually.
Was I really gonna count up to 7? Yes. Good. So Kush 7.
Well, that's why you have all those extra fingers on the shoe.
Okay, that was a good one. I must say that was a really good one.
We try, we aim to please.
Okay, let's go back to having both the picture and the. Okay, good. So Ish Kush, and then we have the last line. Rasmus, do you feel like doing it? I think you're muted.
Right, you are. That's a lugal and a key and a ma and a b and a me.
Are you sure about the lugal?
Oh, is it? Oh, it's just a lu. Sorry. Yeah, the lugal has the
Right.
the 2 lines above or 3 lines above. We see the lugal. It has an extra sign at the beginning, so it's just a lu 2. Yeah, of course. And then ki ma bi me. Is that right?
I'm just not sure about the
The key.
yeah.
Oh, right.
Is this not a key?
I'm not sure. It looks like it, yes. But the thing is, it would make sense as a inim as well, because it's followed by a ma.
Yeah, I see that.
Luinimma means witness, and this is the kind of tablet where you will be talking about witnesses.
Right. A word man would be a witness.
Exactly. Yeah, the man of the word.
Yeah.
Good.
That certainly makes sense, yes.
I might be wrong, but I think it's the case. All right. So we are through with the with the transliteration. Do we want to work on the meaning now? Good.
Good.
So we have. I can get rid of this, I guess.
Oh, that's interesting. So he says, Lu Inima is witness, and
Yes.
Luki Inima is also witness.
Wow.
Lu what?
Ki Inima.
Yeah.
But how do you get key enema? There's only one sign.
Yeah. It must
So
have.
it needs to be either key or inim, right? It can't be both key and inim.
All right. Yeah.
Does it? Trying to jog my memory here. What? Sign number 11. I mean, it doesn't really look like Inim, does it?
Yeah, the thing is, there is no inim. That's the problem. We can just have it as key.
Oh, so he's speculating that inim was somehow left out, or
Yeah, but he has a literature citation in the list where that is coming from.
It's probably because, I mean, having to write it all the time, maybe you end up with abbreviations of sorts. So I'll just keep it like this for now, I guess.
Cool.
Key enigma. Good. All right, so let's now work on the meaning. Okay.
5
So
shekel of silver.
actually, good. So 5 ya gin ku babber. Let's already look at the verbs. Where do you guys see verbs in the first lines?
shubati could be a verb, couldn't it?
Right, and then you also have antatuku, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. So we have 2 finite verbs. Interesting. All right, let's go line by line. This is gonna be 5 shekels, sickles, right? Sickles.
Shekels.
I would say
Just-
shekel. No?
I think it's shekel.
Like this?
Yeah.
Good. eşbeş.
That's his name.
Right.
Ah,
Eşbeş. And then we don't have a grammatical case. Could be the absolutive,
Absolutive, yeah.
or it could be an unstated kind of unwritten grammatical case. But let's keep going. We'll figure it out. Shubati, so this is a verb, right?
Yep.
Good.
so shuti is to receive,
Mm-hmm.
and ba is the prefix for what was it? Somehow reduced agency, I think.
Reduced agency, yes. The middle marker, the middle voice marker.
Yeah.
So in very poor terms, you would call it the passive. Or well, it just highlights the fact that the action benefits the subject in some way.
Yeah.
So shu.
Yeah, I have this nice cheat sheet made by someone called Gabriele, who says that it can be an index of inwards movement, physical or ethical, and it can also be an index of reflexiveness,
I would certainly
which would fit nice here.
I would certainly love to get to know the author.
Yes.
So let's keep it like this. And then we have ba. I'm gonna put X because we don't yet know what case it goes in, because this apparently is in the absolutive as well, and this as well. So X, X, X. Ba, let's call it middle marker. Or just passive. Pass. And then we have T.
To receive, so could be ban T, right? So you could imagine there's a missing third person marker.
Mm-hmm. Right. The verb. Third person singular. So he received, right?
Right.
Oof. So the bar would switcheroo. The bar would kind of you would translate it literally as for himself.
Yep.
AKA from someone else. Ethical inward movement. Oh my. We have a index of case here. Grammatical case, don't we? So we also know that this is a name, a proper name. So Aba-Utugim, and then this. What does the E stand for?
Either ergative or what's the proper name for this case again?
Directive.
Directive, right?
But a directive is hardly ever used with proper names, let alone animate beings. So
although that's interesting because normally I would see ergative with transitive verbs.
right.
In the next line you have tuku. Tuku to have, to hold, to whatnot, I guess. Well, I guess that, I mean, normally we would. No, it is transitive. You're right. It is transitive.
Good. Yeah. Then we thing is, if you have the ergative, then probably the verb that kind of refers back to the ergative comes after it, right? That's the thing. So probably this shubati indirectly refers to utugin, but this is the verb that goes mainly with utugin.
Yep.
Good. So anda tuku. What do we have here? Let's start. Let's decompose it. What is the a?
I had to cheat. It's the finite marker It's allophone. I didn't know, so I looked it up in the grammar. So that's like an I, basically, like E.
Good. The only difference being that "a" is usually used to express a state of habitualness, or just
Oh,
something that does not change, or just a condition that is being set. It's called a stative. So it's not,
oh,
the verb is not dynamic. It's not an action which is in continuous change. It's a stative.
cool. So you're saying it has a semantic difference too. It's not just a. I
Yeah.
think Jägersmar, was it? Called it an allophone, but it's not an allophone, you think. It's more, it has a state of meaning to it. Interesting.
Yeah, that's how I like to call it. It can also mean, I mean, it can also be an index of, it can also be index of, well, passiveness, but passive, yeah. So stative, not dynamic, static action. Then we have nda.
From him. So some kind of third singular marker plus,
Is this from?
is it an ablative?
It is not. It would be ta.
Oh, damn. So with, it's the, so he has it with him.
Right. And we saw in the presentation that to have with means to be owned by someone, right?
Yep.
Good. So nda, third combinative. And then the verb. Well, before the verb, we might have to add something, right?
Could be another N. Andantuku. Possible.
Right. Yeah. So all together.
So, Mhm.
You want to go for it? Go.
Wait, I'm trying to see how to build this in English while keeping the original. So it's Aba-Utugim. Aba-Utugim has it with him, so to say, basically.
Right.
Which means it's being owed to Aba-Utugim.
Volk says that tuku with the infix da means to have a claim against somebody.
Yes, that's one way of kind of seeing it. As in, you are owned something by someone, and the person you have something with is the person you are in strife with, and
yeah,
good. So
do we understand this the way that Uresh has borrowed 5 shekels from Aba-Utugim?
Right. Okay. Let's. So the thing is, we have a nda, and we have a few unexplained cases. So this is the object, most likely 5 shekels of silver. So it is quite fair to have it in the absolutive, right?
Yes.
Then we have this Urashpesh, so the other person involved, which is in a grammatical case, which has probably, I mean, it probably has to be different from the absolutive. And we have a dimensional hint to, well, the commutative. So what if this was
but do you sometimes have just da being left out?
Yep.
Okay.
But then who owns the Shubati?
We do have an ergative.
No.
Sorry, the Shubati. Well, so we know that this means by, literally with.
I see.
Shpesh. So 5 shekels of silver by Urashpesh have been received And Aba-Utugim is the one who is, well, owed them.
I see. That's cool. That
That's
makes
why I say the structure like completely changed, and you have to kind of rethink.
right. I was reading it as Uresh received it, and I was putting a mental end between the two. And Aba-Utugim, it is owed to him basically. So that's how I read it. But see what you're saying. That's what my reading would require, that there's an ergative after the Uresh, right?
Right. The thing is, an ergative would kind of make this the active subject of the sentence. So what I would have, I mean, what would make sense for me is like probably just a nominalizer after T. So like 5 shekels that have been received, and all of this becomes the object. But it cannot be like that, because you have well, basically the second term of the action in the commentative here. So
cool. Okay, makes sense.
And we know that the subject is not Aba-Utugim I mean the subject of the verb shubati. So there's no reason to have the n, and I would instead have a inanimate b. But since the b stands for I mean the b is a pronoun, is a pronominal infix before the verb, stands for the ergative pronoun, and this is, I mean, Aba-Utugim is in the ergative, and we have no need for this because the silver is in the absolutive and not in the ergative. So shubati. And yeah, the subject is not expressed directly. Sorry, the subject of the verb is not expressed inside of the verb. This often happens when you have passive verbs, and the reason is because the subject is usually not in the ergative. That is to say, the subject is usually not transitive when you have a passive sentence. So you cannot mark the ergative subject in any way when you have a passive sentence. So now the only thing left is this shu, and we know that when we have a secondary object inside of the inside of the verb, which is also supposed to be in the directive, sorry, in the absolutive, it often takes the directive instead, or the locative. So this goes in the directive. And there we have it. This is the beginning of tablet number 30, I think. So how you guys like it? It's surely different from what we're acquainted with.
Yeah, it's a very different genre, so it has different terminology and different constructions.
But I quite like it. You get into the lives of the people.
Yeah.
You cannot have problems with problems.
Yep.
I'm very short on time, so I'll have to leave in a minute, but I hope you guys like what we're doing.
Yeah, certainly.
This is cool, yeah. Next time, let's figure out how much a 5 ging actually are, or ging actually are.
All right. So
Ancient prices, always an interesting topic. What can you actually get for that? But yeah, next time, huh?
I'll see you guys either next week or someone down the line.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, fellas.
Well,
Thank you,
Enjoy.
Gabriel.
Have a great
sort it
weekend.
out.
Bye.
Okay, appreciate it.
With a all right, you guys,
Thanks,
no
Gabriel.
problem.
Bye.